Welcome to Saultsports.com. I'm Tony BONO Young on Super Bowl Sunday for Know Your Props. Ash and I are we really like today, or some odds that we like. Ash, how you doing today, man?
Pretty good, a little tired. Just woke up, but we'll get through it.
Attaboy. So what we're going to do today is we were going to take 10 prop bets that we like, or 10 props that we like. Some of them are going to be kind of very end. We're going to go to two locks that we absolutely love with our Super Bowl picks as well. So start off with you. What's your first bet that you really like today?
My first lock of the day is going to be Dallas Goedert going over 48.5 yards receiving. He's going to be used as a safety valve for Jalen Hurts. And the Chiefs, if they play man defense, he's going to be the guy coming open against the linebacker. So that would be my first lock of the day.
Sounds good. So you like that pick. Okay, off the bat, one of my locks of the day, and I love this lock, is 5. There's a bet that there will be more than 2.5 players who attempt to pass, and I'm taking the over on that. And the over was paying plus 145. Injury, we don't know what's going on there. Obviously, we always see some. The Philly special, we all know that play that happened. So I like the fact that pass in this game. What do you think, Ash?
Yeah, I didn't see that prop, but it's an interesting prop. Last time Philly was in the Super Bowl, run the Philly special, right? And Kelsey's throwing a few passes for Kansas City, so it's an interesting prop to take.
Another one I love, Kansas City to have. So I'm basing this off Bet365 out there to bet on. I'm basing all of these off Bet365. Kansas rushing attempts in the game, and they have the number at 5.5 players on a rush. Under only pays minus 180, but I feel like that's a pretty much of a lot. They use McKinnon every so often. Mahomes might get he's going to run a whole lot today. But other than that, they like to use Tony on those little shovel passes, but those actually count as passes, not as runs, right? So that too, I almost feel like that's easy money.
For the over 5.5 players rushing?
Yeah, under 5.5 players rushing.
Yeah.
Rushing
yeah.
For Kansas City. All right, Ash, what's
my next prop, which I love, is Marquez MVS going under 35.5 yards receiving with the return. Oh, so McCole Hardman's still out, but with Juju Smith-Schuster returning, the backup tight end returning for Kansas City, there's going to be less snaps for MVS. And every game he has where they've been healthy or close to healthy, he's gone under like 30 yards receiving. So my other lock would be MVS going under 35.5 yards receiving. He can make it in like one play, right? Like he's a deep ball threat. I mean, which I seen against Cincinnati, unfortunately. But you got to like MVS going under 35.5 with the players returning for Kansas City.
Kansas City passing game with their wide receivers, it's just been a crapshoot all year round, right? You have no idea what. But back to my point, I like that. I like that one as well. But to kind of piggyback on, people think that they haven't had the big plays this year. They actually have had quite a few big plays, and they've been plays in the NFL this year. One of my favorite bets is the time of possession. You can pick between Kansas City or Philly, who's going to have the most time of possession. Kansas City 20 in that department. I actually like KC to in this game. I think you're going to see a lot of cover 2 by the Eagles today, maybe even some cover, like to keep everything in front. And the one thing that separated Mahomes this year is what's Mahomes done well this year in those deep shots. He's taken what the defense has given them, and they've done a good job of controlling time of possession. So if you're looking for a plus 120 bet, I really like KC on time of possession.
That's a good one. It's the juice you're getting on that too as well, considering Philly loves to control the clock by running the ball quite a bit, right?
No question. No.
It's a pretty good bet if they're gonna play a shell and they'll just march it up the field on them. That's pretty good. My next lock, you're gonna see a lot of my player parlays sort of based around these couple guys. My next lock is Dallas Goedert going over 4.5 receptions. He's a safety valve for Jalen Hurts. When he gets in trouble, looks for him. He loves taking that deep shot, but anything underneath goes a lot to Dallas Goedert. So I think you're going to see quite a bit of Dallas Goedert here if they can get some pressure on Jalen Hurts. And I mean, Philadelphia with their offensive line being the best offensive line in the league might give them time for those deep shots, but I still like Dallas Goedert to get at least 5 catches today.
Yeah,
and it was going off at. Sorry, one sec.
Sorry, actually, you're cutting in and out there, man.
Yeah, my internet's it's better. I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying. Okay.
All right. Another one that I really liked on this was the touchback, and that's going off at minus 150.
The opening play, right? The opening play for touchback.
Sorry,
is it the opening play for touchback?
Kickoff.
Yeah, I looked at that too.
Yeah. So I mean, that's where they get their energy. It's going to be an electric environment. Often opening kickoff, and it just fires through the ends of the back of the end zone. So I almost think that 150. Another bet
it's a good
really
one.
like Ash is will there be a 2-point attempt? And yes is going off at minus 1. The stats this year, KC is 11th and Philly was 18th when it came to converts this season. So not the best there. I think 0.3 attempts per game, and Philly was 0.2 attempts a game. That bet though today is because it's the Super Bowl, right? Nerves come into play. You see kick happen that you don't normally see, and I really like that bet. I really have a feeling. I think this is going to be as high scoring as people think it's going to be, but I do think that you're going to see a 2-point attempt today.
I did too. Another one I also like, another player prop, is if you see it last week too, Kansas City likes to man up on the outside a bit. And I don't know if they're potentially going to man up try against A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, but the Jalen Hurts over 50.5 yards rushing is going off at, I forget the exact number, but it's like Joe Burrow ran for just under 50 against them, right? Like as soon as he sees that man coverage, like Jalen Hurts, I think he's feeling better with his shoulder too, so he might take off a little bit more. If he sees them down the field like that with their backs turned, I think he takes off for a couple big chunk plays and gets to that 50.5 pretty easy. Like I shouldn't say easy, but like fairly easy. Should make that 50.5 if they're covering downfield.
Well, a bet I like too, and I thought about it. I didn't make it, but Hurts leading the game in rushing today was paying +3, so that's not a bad one.
The juice on that's fantastic. +300 for a quarterback that has the ability to run for 100. Yeah,
exactly. One of my favorite props is this all playoffs. This has been my most successful one. It's hit. The only time it has over the entire playoffs was I take the starting tight end from both teams to score a touchdown. So Dallas Goedert is at Dallas Goedert is +210. Travis Boost right now is +175. So for both Goedert and Kelsey on a down pays +385 today. I really love that bet too.
Yeah, So that's actually, it's funny you say that. That's one of my playoff hacks have been so far, and anyone that's tailed me on it has made money. And I don't
Yeah.
just do a touchdown. I love sprinkling first touchdowns because they go off at such a high juice rate. Like so,
Yeah.
and that's always except for minus Travis Kelsey, just about all 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 tight ends go off at about a plus 1,000. And I rode Goddard twice to two first touchdowns, and Hayden Hurst on a first touchdown. And then Dawson Knox on the first touchdown again in their first playoff game. So it's I love the first. I love betting first touchdowns. So if you're looking to sprinkle and get some decent odds on ones, I would say look at Travis Kelsey and Dallas Goddard his first touchdown scores for both for each team, or first touchdown of the game scores. I like either Dallas Goddard or Travis Kelsey to get the first touchdown of the game. Period. Those are two bets that I run all playoffs too.
I really like. I really like Kadarius Toney anytime touchdown. They kind of use him sporadically throughout the season, but they love using and they love using him on the Jets sweeps. They love using him on those. They've actually thrown to him. He might not have a ton of yards. I do like him today a lot. I think he's going to have a game. So Tony anytime TD is another one I love.
Yeah, and I forgot with the fact that he's coming back too is going to give less reps to MVS on that under 35 and a half
That's
yards.
right.
So you got to really like that one. Another one that I like too is Pacheco under his rushing yards. I think it's going off at 61 and a half right now.
Yeah.
I think if the game's close, and I know he's a bit of a stud, but I think they might ride McKinnon a bit here. If they start to trail too, say Philly goes up early, I think you might see McKinnon in the backfield a little bit more. So I
Yeah,
like Pacheco under his rushing yards.
I agree. All right, more that I like, and then we'll move on to some fun ones. So I really over 63 and a half yards. I actually think he might have more yards today than him. I think that we've seen the progression of Devontae Smith this season with Jalen Hurts kind of take off, and I can't help it championship games, but I think about what he did the national championship game when he played for all they did was throw him the ball. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of see that coming again today. Another one, it's kind of bit me this season. I'm a huge Justin Watson fan. Why? I don't know what it is about Justin Watson. Patrick Mahomes takes deep shot more than any player on that team. If you watch, he's the guy that he goes to for those deep shots. Watson right now is at 14 and a half receiving yards today. I generally take the over with Justin Watson, but today I think I'm going to go with the other one I really like is I like over 3.5 field goals, which pays plus 135. A lot of people think that the Super Bowl, it's a high scoring affair. People want to see touchdowns. It's a game where field goals are the difference a lot of times, and you have two really good teams here, and I like I know 4 field goals is a lot for an NFL game. I like the pushback with the plus 135. So I went over.
Not bad. Yeah, I don't know how many that is. That's about all the player props that I've bet today. Don't feel super comfortable with a
All
ton
right,
of other
good.
ones. The
Yep.
the passing yards for both quarterbacks scare me. Like
I
I don't
know.
think they're overly high, but it's like it's so close that I'm like I've just sort of avoided them.
I think people automatically want to go over for everything, right? They're like, oh, this is going to be
Yeah.
an easy over. This is going to be an easy. This is going to be all wild and crazy. I really don't. All right, I got a couple fun ones, and then we're going to give our. We'll start with the national anthem. One of my favorite bets. Now, at 123, 123 seconds, and it's so it's all the way up now. It was at 123.5 Now it's at 120. Chris Stapleton is performing the national anthem. He has a tendency to kind of slow things. However, what we see oftentimes is when the Super Bowl comes and you're in front of millions and millions of people, nerves kind of kick in a little bit and you see a little quicker. Now that the line's up to 126.5, I'm going under national anthem there. Again, it's a tough one, but the under actually. So I went with the under.
You got to go the under there. At over 2 minutes, you got to go the under. Even if he riffs on the end for a little bit, it feels like a pretty safe bet to be in the under on the anthem.
One that blows me away, man. I love this. This is one of my favorite things to bet on. The color Gatorade that's thrown every year. Blue is the low is higher up. This year, blue is okay. It's been blue the last couple of years, and I've won. I'm a huge fan of the blue or of the clear or the water. For some time, are always the best odds, and very rarely is it that. So those are two that I love.
Red Gatorade. Red Gatorade's going to win.
And my fun bet. This was a fun one I did, Ash. I don't know if you saw this one. $5 on it. Will a field goal attempt hit the crossbar today? And that paid plus 14.
Yeah.
So I took the yes on that. A lot of extra points. I think you're going to see a lot of field goal attempts, and weird things happen, man. All it has that's a win, right? Now again, the odds of that happening are pretty low, but we have seen it happen a lot this year, so I'd have some fun. All right, Ash, to finish off, give us your Super Bowl.
I've been torn all week, and I've gone back and forth on what team I was going to pick. And I hate it because I really don't want the Eagles to win. I know too many Eagles fans, and I wouldn't be able to handle myself. But I want to fade. I want to fade the media prediction. They've said that I feel like Philly's going to beat them pretty bad for most of this. I just like the Chiefs money line, and they're like plus 105 or plus 115 money line right now. I'm loving the Chiefs money line in a super close game. Maybe Bucker to win it on a last-second field goal, much like the AFC Championship. I expect this game to be tight the whole game. Like especially if Philly can control the clock, but Kansas City's quick strike offense, like the way they can score points quickly. I like Kansas City with the last possession of the game to win it.
All right, Ash. So I'll be honest with you. I think the Eagles are the biggest fraud history to ever make the Super Bowl. They have the easiest schedule by they have played absolutely nobody this season. You look at their schedule, and it is you hear Eagles, well, we're 7-1 against teams over 500. The teams early on in the season, the Giants, like the Cowboys, man. And then you guys get hand-fed a Super Bowl spot by the fourth quarterback.
Yes.
Like, this team hasn't faced adversity once this season. They actually are, right? People are calling them out in the media saying they're this super team and they're great. They haven't been tested. So the first time you're going to be tested in the NFL during an NFL season is at the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. The Eagles could have a more quality team. They could have better players, deeper, all that stuff. And yeah, they very well could win this game, but I'm going with the experience. I'm going with the point. I'm going with the Kansas City 30-27. I hate
that we have the same agree
to do it. Yeah,
I'm exactly with you there too.
Yeah, the Eagles haven't done a thing to anyone this year, despite what you might say or you might see on the national media. Their schedule. Who have they played and who have they beaten?
I agree.
An
I think
absolute joke.
I've been saying all year they're one of the most fraudulent teams I've seen. Them and the Minnesota Vikings were the two most fraudulent teams in the NFL.
I completely agree. Now, obviously, we could be wrong. My hot take, that's your take. We're both kind of on the same page, and that doesn't happen. So,
Ever. It's probably destined
right.
for us to bomb
Right.
for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Enjoys their big day. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy it with your family. Enjoy it with your friends. One of the best days of the year. And we thank you so much for tuning in. Obviously, these are from guarantees. These are our opinions. And we hope you guys have some fun with it and win some money. You can send us some thank yous. And if you lose, well. But yeah, thanks so much, Ash. Appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, man. Have fun on your trip this weekend.
Oh, thanks, man.
Because you won't be there for City Finals. City Finals is going to be fun.
I know. Brutal, man. Maybe we'll come back early next week and we'll kind of go over these, or we'll post something on Saultsports to say how we did, so we can tell people if we were.
Yeah, man. I'm in.
All right. Sounds good, buddy. Have
All
a great
right.
day. Thanks.
Have a good one.
Bye.